Hello, everybody. This is Sri from BizBuzz, What Matters the Most in Your Business, sponsored by My Work Belt. My Work Belt is a business operating system catering to service based small businesses all over the US and rest of the world. And today we have a Craig. Craig Andrews is a principal ally at alliesforme.com. He is a master of marketing and he has been a big fan of HubSpot, but now some interesting lessons that we can learn from the HubSpot experience. Craig, how are you doing today?
Sri, I'm doing wonderfully. If you look over my shoulder, you will see a HubSpot mug
Uh huh.
there.
That's
I,
right.
I put that there for those that are observant and are looking for clues that they're looking for a marketer that's familiar with HubSpot, and that's a subtle clue that I can throw out there.
Now, we were talking about it having an edge, whether it is you're a big or small, and we were also we when you are small as a small business, you are hungry. You are always hungry. You're always keeping up to date. You are always wanting to do more for your customers. As you continue growing, it's just a natural tendency. The business owners become too busy or they become innovators of other ideas and spread themselves thin and then slowly lose their edge. And all of a sudden, businesses get suffer,
Yeah.
right? Now, what I wanted to learn from you is there is definitely a lesson that you can learn, we all can learn in the ups and downs of HubSpot. Although HubSpot is much larger company now, but when they started, they are a very small company. Matter of fact, they started from Michigan.
I didn't know that. I thought they
Yeah.
started in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Well, the gentleman is in Michigan. He used to live in Michigan, and when he started the HubSpot,
Okay.
yeah.
I
Anyway,
didn't know that.
so point is, you start off small, although at times you appear as a big company in the market, right?
Hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
how do you keep up the edge to continue serving the customers and keeping their loyalty?
Yeah, first let me throw out something. The years ago I launched a company to compete with some really, really large companies, and the VCs asked, "How do you think you're going to beat these guys?"
Correct.
And one of the companies was RFMD, and I said, even RFMD had their first customer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's the thing. You look at these companies as if they're massive and unreachable. But the reality is, every company that's out there, they had their first customer. Hewlett Packard, they were making their first product was a signal generator for Disney Corporation. They painted it and they cured the paint in their mother's oven. And now it's they split and it's two multi-billion-dollar companies. But I mean, just for those to fill in people with what's happened, HubSpot rose and rose and rose. And when the pandemic hit, they just really took off. After the pandemic finished, they fell back down in terms of stock value. They fell back down and they'd slowly started regrowing, peaked in about February of 2025. And since then, they've just been in a continuous fall. And after their last earnings announcement, the next day, their stock dropped 20%.
Indeed, yes. But
And
interesting point is that they are actually making money, even they have not made money for 20 years.
yeah, very good point. So they were founded in 2006. The first profitable quarter they had was first quarter of 2026. 20 years to their first profitable quarter, and then second quarter was profitable. And they delivered the first two quarterly profits in the company history. And then, but they've been punished in the stock market. And that's all about forward-looking projections.
Correct.
And if I break it down to something really simple, HubSpot is basically a database.
That's true.
It's basically a database. And what investors are starting to think is if it's just a database, if you take a database and you take AI, you can have all the functionality of HubSpot for a fraction of the price.
That is unfortunate side effect of AI glitter going on right now.
But let's wind back the clock. HubSpot's not been ignoring AI. As a matter of fact, when ChatGPT first came out in November of 2022, almost immediately, one of the co-founders of HubSpot created a new AI tool and he put it on a different domain than the HubSpot domain, but it was clearly designed to integrate with HubSpot. And so they've been working with AI and they've added a lot of AI functionality to the platform. The problem is, at least from my experience, is it's not great AI functionality. It's as a matter of fact, it's so bad I use my own AI separately to tap into HubSpot and gain the insights I was hoping the AI would give me.
Right. So the
And
what is it actually throwing them off? What is it that people are upset about it? And I mean, one point is, as we started off the dialogue, right? You have to keep the edge continuing. You have to keep up with the market
yeah,
in order for continue providing the service to meet the customer expectations. Right? And it looks like HubSpot is on the path of integrating with implementing some AI concepts and then keeping up with the technology. So they are making profit. They are keeping up with the AI technology, yet they are losing the market share or share
well,
value.
they're not losing market share, but they're losing loyalty. And so I would say two things. One, let's separate it in two different things. The investors are looking at what they're expecting. Investors are buying based on where they expect that stock to be a year from now. Um, the users like me,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a difference. The mentality that helped grow HubSpot to the point that it is
Mm-hmm.
gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. And I've seen it disappear in multiple ways. There was a change in leadership. The CEO changed back in 2021. And starting in 2022, I've just seen change after change after change. And they're not the same company they were when they were rising rapidly.
Right.
And this is not the first time we've seen this. If we go back to the late 90s, the Bill Gates was being sued for running a monopoly.
Mm-hmm.
And he appeared in front of Congress and to answer questions. And one of the things he said, and people laughed at him when he said this, they scorned him. He said, "Yes, we're at the top right now because we work very, very hard. We're very
Mm-hmm.
hungry, and we work very hard to stay where we are." He said, "But make no mistake, in a single generation, we can be displaced." And they laughed at him. They said, "That's crazy. That's lunacy. You're so powerful, nobody can unseat you." And the irony is, while he was making that statement, there was a little known startup in Mountain View, California called Google.
Mm-hmm.
And so Google has taken a lot of business away from Microsoft. They made them less relevant. The current CEO has really done a lot to help turn around Microsoft. But the point is, kind of back to our central theme, it doesn't matter if you're Microsoft. It doesn't matter if you're HubSpot. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're Google, Google's bleeding AI talent like nothing before.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who you are. There's always someone out there that's looking to take your market share. And one of my sayings is customer needs will be met, hopefully by you.
That's right.
And so
If not by you, somebody else will.
yes.
And
Eh,
customers loyal to those who meet their business needs.
So the reality I am living today is exactly what has the investors spooked about HubSpot.
Right.
HubSpot said, okay, AI, we get it. We're going to bring AI into the platform. I've used HubSpot's AI. I'm not impressed. As a matter of fact, not only not impressed, I'm disappointed. So I have my own AI sitting immediately in front of me as a Mac Studio whose sole purpose in life is running my autonomous agent.
Yeah.
And
So,
it can tap into my HubSpot account. If I ask AI inside HubSpot, something very simple, I'll ask the AI inside HubSpot, I'll say, please give me a list of all the CPAs in my account.
mhm.
It comes up with a fragmented list. It's horrible. It's just a mess. I ask my agent, find me all the CPAs in my HubSpot account. It gives me a really complete list. It gives me more detail. It's way better. And so it comes back to Bill Gates' statement. They got complacent, they got comfortable. And instead of being focused on always being the best and meeting the customer needs, the reality I'm living right now is the same as what the investors in HubSpot fear. And that's why they're selling HubSpot.
so the lesson learned for us from this whole experience of most Microsoft, Google, HubSpots, and all these large companies, you you can be as big as you can be. However, if you don't really pay attention to what customer desires, which is continuously changing, you can be replaced by somebody else,
Yes. And let me bring this back to the small businesses who are your listeners.
right?
There was a day Microsoft was a small business. There's a day that HubSpot was a small business. The Just because these are big businesses doesn't mean those lessons don't apply to you. If
Indeed,
you
correct.
if you're a MSP, there's a lot of other MSPs out there. If you want to gain market share, you need to figure out how to serve the customer base better than the other ones.
You see, this is the part that I've always learned, and matter of fact, share with some of my employees also. When when it's not necessarily a company is being complacent and lethargic. It's basically the people who are working in the organizations are the one uh, being complacent or being lethargic.
Yes.
If stay on the on top of their game, the companies naturally appears they're on top of the game because companies are is created by the group of people working for the company. Now, if we as a small business owners or business leaders, if we continue provide this to the customer, this to our employees, like if we don't care for our customers, somebody there's always dozen wolves in the market to snatch our meal,
Yeah.
right?
And and this has been my own journey. If I go back 23 or 24 years, I was working for another company and I was having a conversation with the engineering manager about our next family of products. And the engineering manager looked at me and said, Craig, you worry too much. Customers love our parts. They will always love our parts. And about a half hour after he said that, I took some time to collect my thoughts and I went into my general manager's office and I told my general manager, I said, Joe, I'm afraid that our competitors are hungrier than we are.
Yeah.
He got upset with me. He threw me out of his office. He disagreed. Within 9 months, we deployed a very valuable resource to a strategic resource we deployed in a tactical role in Korea to try to hang on to every bit of Samsung business. Well, right now, that company, at that point, we had our biggest competitor on the ropes. They were struggling to get any business.
Hmm.
Today, as we're recording this episode, that competitor that we had on the ropes is in the process of acquiring my former company.
Yeah. So it's very interesting lesson that we are learning from all these big companies and their experiences. Now, however, what my take on it is small businesses are not as vulnerable as the large companies. And
Right.
correct me if I'm wrong. However, that should not uh, that should not relieve us from keeping an eye on serving the customers with the best possible experience the customer would like to have. Right?
Customer needs will be met, hopefully by you.
That's a powerful statement. Excellent. Thank you very much, Craig, for staying on the show today and giving us the lessons from all these large companies and what can we do to take those lessons from them and apply in our small business environment. Now, the most powerful statement you're sharing with us is customer needs will be met, hopefully by you, and which is very, very powerful tagline that everybody should propagate into their organization, however small and big they are. Those who are listening, I request you to subscribe and share the video with fellow business peers that you have. And collectively, we can take these lessons, apply in our businesses, and continue to survive and thrive as small businesses. And until next episode, see you then.